Hey everybody, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and I'm doing a junk or constitutional silver purchase sorting, if you will. And I wasn't going to do a video on this one because all I have is Washington quarters, Merc dimes, and some 64 Kennedys. I've been going through the 64 Kennedys and stacking them up just like this, putting them in rolls. Before I do that, I've been putting everyone under the microscope to check for all the DDOs, the TDOs, and the QDOs that you can find in those 64Ds and 64p half dollars, just in case we had any varieties. Well, I put one under the scope, and I found one I have never found before. So that's right, everyone. I found one I haven't found before. I've got a 64D, and I'll just take it out from under the scope right now and show it to you. Not in the best shape, but a 64 Denver minted 90% silver half dollar. I stuck it under the scope, and let me show you what I encountered. Take a look at this doubling. Isn't that a beauty? Doubled serifs all on the 4, all over the word trust. We got a nice ding on the 6. We've got doubling on the 9. Doubling at the base of the 1, and even on in God. See it clear as day. What a dandy of a find. This one is a more rare one, and it is the FS 101. A little bit on that R. It's the FS 101, and I did not think I would ever come across this one, and we have. What a beauty that is. I'm super happy to get that. So because I found it, I figured I would go through the rest of these now and make this a video. We'll check the rest of the 64s here, and then I might as well bring in and do a variety search on the rest of the denominations, because if this was dumped by the same person where I bought it from and they missed that one, they definitely weren't variety searching the rest. I'll bring it back in if I find something else, but I am just super stoked. Wanted to share this with you. It's 1964D FS 101. Beauty. So I'm zoomed in with my macro lens, so it's going to be a little shaky, but I thought I would just give you a good look at the doubling on this 64D. Again, sorry for the shakiness. A little bit of detail will be hard to see with my shakiness, but I'm doing the best I can. What an awesome DDO. I wish the coin was in better shape, but I'm not picky when they're varieties. Well, as fate would have it, that's all we found, although that is more than enough. Got it sleeved up. It's a new one that I didn't have. I didn't have the FS 101, so I'll definitely take that one and put it in the binder at the end of the video. Now that I've got dimes and quarters to do, I think I'll go to the quarters next. I have never really found anything too valuable in the quarter searches I've done, but you never know. I'll be checking for those 40s and 30s, DDOs, as well as any of the type B proof reverses in the 50s and 60s. But if I find something worth showing, I'll bring it up. If I get any semi-keys or nice key dates in here, I'll let you know. I highly doubt it. You never know, though. All right, we'll do the quarters now. We'll get the dimes done next. I'll bring you in if something's worth showing. So I went ahead and stacked the quarters by decades. These are the 60s, the 50s, the 40s. I've already laid out the 30s by year. We did have some goodies over here. A 1907-0 barber quarter. Couple of dateless SLQs, but we have a type 1 on top. So it's probably a 1917 Philadelphia because there's no mint mark. Still pretty cool to find that in there. And then a few dated ones. A 1927 Philly and a 1926 Philly. So these are some surprises in my Washington quarters bunch, which makes me happy. Like I said, I laid out the 30s by year. We actually had 3 1932s. Now, they're all Philadelphia, the common one, but take a look at this top 1932. That is a pretty nice 1932. This is probably in EF 40 condition or close to it. So I'll take that all day. That might even upgrade in my book, to be honest. Couple of slick 34s, no DDOs on any of those. A few 35s, the nicest is on top. 3 36s, and believe it or not, 2 are the hard to find 36D. And the 36D fetches a lot more value if you can get it in mid to high grade, but that's not mid to high grade. And unfortunately, even though this one's nicer, it's definitely been cleaned or polished or something. So that's a bummer. Still pretty cool to find some semi-key dates in there. For 37, we had 3 of the Philadelphia mints. Checked them for the DDO. Didn't have it, of course. And 2 37Ds. A little bit better date. The 37S is the best mint for that year, but the Ds do fetch a little more. And the better of the two is probably this one. Got some rim damage on top, but still not a bad coin overall. And then finally, we had the 39s here, and 39 is generally a better overall year, especially if you get a DRS mint mark. We did have a handful of Philadelphia mints, a Denver, and a San Francisco, and honestly, this Philadelphia mint 39, wow, not bad for the junk silver bin whatsoever. I'll take that all day. Now that we've gone through the 30s, I'm going to recheck all of these against my album, see if any upgrade, and then we'll move on to the 40s next. So I wanted to show you, I think I'm able to upgrade 4 quarters out of my album. This was the 32P I had. Not a lot of great detail. And the 32 Philadelphia that I'm putting in there definitely has better detail. So I'll be upgrading that one. For 1935, the one I chose is a slight upgrade to the one that I had in there. Of course, pretty slick. For the 37 Denver, this one, decent detail. The one I had was cleaned or polished, so I get to remove that one out of there. And it was a no-brainer on the 39. This 39 is pretty gorgeous compared to the one that I had in the book. So 4 upgrades in my book, and that makes me happy. Now we'll move on to the 40s. So we've got the 40s laid out. 40 PNS, 41 PNS, 42 PNS, 43 PDNS, 44 PNS, 45 all 3 mints, 46, 47, 48 all 3 mints, and 49. Now I would have checked the 42 Ds if I had any for any of the double dial verses, didn't have it. I did check my 43 Ps, no DDOs, and my 143S, also no DDOs. When we get to 1950, we'll be checking for the over mint marks, but for now, nothing really valuable in here whatsoever as far as better dates or any varieties. But I do have some pretty nice examples that may or may not upgrade in my book, which I'll be taking a peek at here in a second. Let me see if anything upgrades, and if it does, I'll bring you back. As expected, nothing in the 40s upgraded my album. Let's move on to the 50s now, and there are a couple of beauties back here that might upgrade. Let me see if I have anything worth showing in this batch. So I've got the 50s laid out by year and by mint, P, D, and S all the way across the board. Obviously, we don't have any S mints in the later 50s. They didn't mint them there, and we're even missing some 58 Philadelphias. Checked the 50 D over S's. Checked if we had any 50S over Ds, but I needed some S mint marks. We didn't have that. I also checked for the Type B proof reverses on the 56 through 59s. Didn't find any. At the end of the day, I also checked a lot of the mint marks for any repunch mint marks, or the reverses and the obverses for any of the doubling that is associated with a certain years that PCGS recognizes some double dies. Since we didn't find any of that, now I got to go through it. I've got the best of each year in mint on top. Some of them aren't very nice, but that's what you get. We're going to see if any of these upgrade. Maybe that 57 will. We'll have to take a look. If I have an upgrade, I'll bring in. Otherwise, what I'm going to end up doing is checking my 60 for Type Bs and just give you a wrap up at the end if we have anything worth mentioning. Let's do this first, and I'll bring you back if something upgraded. As expected, my 57 Philadelphia, which is still pretty nice, will be trumped by this one. So I will get a slight upgrade in 1957. We'll take it. Well, the quest continues for Type B reverses. I didn't find any this time. I do have a couple in my collection I have found, but none this go around. I did find 3 proof quarters in there, 2 62s and a 61. This 62 is in pretty cool shape. Got my fingerprints on it now though, but it does have a pretty good cameo finish. Found a really nice toner in there. And then a couple of uglies. Now that we've done that, the last step is to go through the dimes. And for sake of time, all I'm going to look for is any really nice looking ones or any key or semi-key dates in here. Obviously, it'd be nice to score a 16D or 21 or a 21D. Not expecting that at all, but you never know. I'll also be checking for the 42 or 41, both from Philadelphia and Denver, and of course the 45S with the micro S. That's all I'll be looking for in this batch. Everything else will get tubed up. Let me run through them. I'll bring you in if something is worth showing. Well, I went ahead and stacked all the dimes. I checked all the 42s for 42 over 1s, the 45S's for the micro S, and I will get to that in a second. But we did also have in there a nice 1916 Philadelphia minted barber dime, which I'll take. Somehow a 59 Roosevelt minted in Denver found its way in there as well. Said I would let you know about the 45S's that I looked at. I actually did find a micro S, and I wanted to show you the difference on the screen. This is the standard 45S reverse. That's the micro S. You can see it looks like the S was pinched in close together, and it's substantially smaller than they normally are. Pretty obvious under the scope, pretty obvious under the naked eye when you come across them. Now the micro S is not worth much in that condition. The condition I have on the board is about G4, and in G4 condition, it fetches pretty much the same value as any mercury dime. When you get up in the higher grades though, it jumps up dramatically. So had it been a mid-state dime, we'd be super excited about this find, but since the condition is very poor at the end of the day, it's not worth much more. Still, it's another variety, and I'll always take adding varieties to my collection. Today's video, we found a 1964D DDO FS 101 and my third ever 1945 micro S. Can't get mad at that. Hopefully you enjoyed this constitutional silver search. We ended up with some goodies. If you did, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, happy stacking, and thanks for watching.